Well, supply chain disruptions continue to cause serious problems for Australian companies. For more on this, I'm joined by our business reporter, Ed Boyd. Ed, Woolworths says more than 22,000 of its employees have needed to isolate since the Delta outbreak began.
Yeah, imagine how difficult it is running a large-scale business such as Woolworths, where your employees are constantly forced into 2 weeks of isolation due to being deemed a close contact or a casual contact for COVID. So 22,000 employees since the Delta outbreak began have been put into isolation. Woolworths say today in their quarterly sales update, about 1,500 of their sites have been deemed exposure sites since the pandemic began. And they say this has been the toughest quarter for them since the start of the pandemic, almost 2 years ago, really. But sales actually did well in the quarter. They were up 8%, and that is thanks to people still buying a lot of food and grocery items. So good sales result for Woolworths, but a big challenge for them over the last 3 months, really, dealing with COVID. We now know for New South Wales and other states, as vaccination rates get higher, the rules around casual contacts and isolation are changing. So that's going to be a positive for Woolworths and other big supermarket chains over the Christmas period.
Okay, today the inflation numbers will be released. Rising petrol prices are expected to boost that CPI number in the September quarter.
Exactly. Look, petrol prices are at about $1.70 a litre. That's because oil is at its highest level in about 7 years. Highest point since 2014. Oil's about $84 a barrel. That's pushed up the price of petrol. The other thing is supply chain problems as well, tying in with Woolworths. That's pushing up the price of various items across the country. That's inflation. So economists predict the headline inflation number is going to rise by 3.1% over the year to the end of September. But the trimmed mean inflation, which irons out big rises and falls in various price things such as petrol, that's going to be at 1.8%. And that's the figure the Reserve Bank look at when they make their cash rate decision. They'd like the trimmed mean at between 2% and 3%. And it could take a bit more time before inflation gets up to that level.
Okay, Ed, thanks so much for that. We'll see you soon.